following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
My name is Jasmine, and I am a recovering drug addict.
My name is Richie Farrell, a.k.a. the Old White Junkie.
And we are your hosts for Exit Team Nashua.
Our mission is to bring recovery into the living room.
Last year, over 72,000 Americans died of an accidental overdose.
That's almost 200 Americans every single day.
We will bring you guests with real-life experiences with addiction and recovery. Welcome to Exit Team Nashua. Hi, welcome to Exit Team Nashua. My name is Jasmine, and I am your host. Thank you all for joining us today. We have a excellent guest here, but before we dive right into it, which we will, and I'm sure that Bobby will harass me and Stephanie both, as he usually does. I just wanted to I remind everyone why we do this. And that we're here to help people, and we're here to offer resources and education and hope. And if you're struggling, please reach out to anyone that's ever been on any of these shows, myself, go to your local recovery center, just reach out to anyone. There are resources available everywhere. And, if you don't think you're worth it, you are, and we love you and we believe in you. And if you don't want to be sober, that's okay too. I just want you guys to know that we're here for you. I've lost a lot of people that I really care about recently. And it's impacting my life personally tremendously over the last few weeks. So I just want everyone to know that you're loved and that you're cared about. As always, Bobby, happy you're here.
Hi.
Yeah, sorry that I wasn't here with you for the last two shows.
It's cool. It's just, putting everything on me and, shirking your responsibilities. It's cool, though. It's cool.
I heard you bombed them.
Oh, 100%. It's terrible.
Just kidding. We had great ratings. I heard you did an excellent job.
I don't know.
It was the hair. Your hair always looks phenomenal.
Definitely the hair.
Yeah, I know, right?
Just, you can't do the ego thing. Just stop. Just stop. Don't let it go.
His ego's already so big, I'm surprised we can fit in the room with him.
It's impressive.
It is.
It's impressive.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, right?
You're welcome. You might be wondering why I called you both in here today. You're fired.
Oh, God.
Goodness.
So welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Yeah, this is great.
Yes, I'm so excited you're here. And so we don't work off a script, and we never know what we're going to say, and I'm just going to hand it over to Bobby and let him start it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great. All right. So we just met. So Tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I work at the Farnham Center. I'm an admissions coordinator there.
Okay.
And basically, my story, I don't like to say that it's like everyone else's, but it's pretty conformed to, the typical being a teenager, experimenting, had ups and downs, wanting to fit in, having fun, and then all of a sudden it goes the wrong way.
Okay.
So I definitely had my stint of drinking and using, and at one point I got sober, which was the best thing. I realized that I could have fun with all of those without, drinking and substances. I did.
Really?
I thought rehab, the third time I went to rehab, was excellent.
Okay.
Yeah, I met a bunch of women there. We laughed, and those deep belly laughs that you forget that you
the ones that kind of hurt, and then you're just kind of gasping for air, and you kind of think you're dying.
It was almost like exactly.
You're just like, oh my God, this is how I go.
It was almost like a realization that I hadn't felt that way in for so long.
Yeah, to really feel alive.
And the pink cloud, as they call it. I felt like I was in a pink cloud for a good year.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your secret for that?
I know. Well, I didn't take myself so seriously.
Okay.
Going in, you have all of these issues in your life, and for a moment, I got to step back and focus on me and realize, who I was and what I really was getting sober for. Mm-hmm. Obviously, my family. I have a daughter who's 16 now. So at the time,
it's great because you don't look much older than 16 yourself. So
I was gonna say that kind of threw me off. I was trying to do math in my head.
I know.
Math's not my strong suit.
What is your strong suit?
The hair.
True.
Like I said,
I'm just kidding. I know we bicker. Sometimes I feel like you're too mean. I'm sorry. I love you and I'm grateful for you. Sorry.
It's okay. Just use me as a punching bag. It's cool.
Yeah, it's all
Did you
right.
see how she treats me?
It's okay.
You know
it's
she
a
hits
loving
me.
relationship.
You know she hits me, right?
She does not.
She
I don't
does.
believe
I
it.
do
She hits me
not.
with a phone book and she says nobody's ever going to believe you.
I don't believe it.
See?
So
All
it
right.
works.
You need help.
Okay. So speaking of needing help, right? So what led you to asking for help the first time? Or did you even ask for help? Or was it kind of forced on you?
Yeah, I definitely didn't ask for help
Okay.
the first time.
Which first time? Okay, all right.
The first,
Yeah.
the first time.
Okay.
My family found out about everything that I was kind of doing. I was able to be functional, still go to work, still take care of my daughter, do everything.
Yeah.
And as it progressed, I wasn't able to hide it as well anymore.
Yeah.
Which is typical. So once they realized, my family they gave me the tough love
Okay.
aspect that, in the moment you don't enjoy at all. So I was resentful against them, wanting to, rebel and say, you're not going to tell me what to do. But there was something inside of me that definitely told me that it was the right thing to do. So I went. And I didn't stay for very long. I wasn't ready.
You left against medical or clinical
Yep,
advice?
Yeah, the first time I was only there for 10 days. And I felt like my detox was pretty significant. And it just wasn't, I couldn't get through it.
So you didn't get through detox or?
No, I mean, after 10 days, I felt like I was still really sick. And I think the obsessive thoughts and because of the fact that I didn't go because I wanted to go, I was like, I'm all set with this.
Okay. That's something that I feel like you've definitely heard a lot too, is like, oh, I'm good with detox. That's all I need.
Right.
Like I just need it out of my system. And then when it's out of my system, I'll be good.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, for many people, the substance isn't the problem. For some people, they have just had the physical component, but a lot of people are using to address the underlying causes and conditions.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. I do feel like I felt like that the second time. I was like, oh, I just need detox. And then, but I still felt like crap the first time. So I went back again, and I actually got through most of a residential program.
Okay.
And by the end of it, I felt like I was physically well. My mental state was much better.
This is your second time?
Yes.
Okay, because you said most of her. I was like, all right.
Oh, well, I didn't complete the residential.
Sounds like she
I
didn't
actually got
complete.
discharged. But
Stop at a time or two.
Do you want to skip over that part? Because we can.
Yes. I mean, it really wasn't, places have rules and I didn't abide by
they were
them
just
completely.
like, you were actually doing so well. We're going to let go of you early.
It should have been that way.
So, okay. Continue.
So, I mean, I ended up leaving and I did, that was the point where I was like, oh, I can drink and not do drugs. Like all these steps and,
absolutely,
people can tell you to
because
do
drugs
these
were your
things.
problem.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
like, obviously,
I'm not an alcoholic.
cocaine's
I'm just
a bad thing.
Right.
I just
like,
love
I've
me
never
some
had
fentanyl.
the issues with alcohol, although, like, I got a DWI and, got arrested while I was drinking, but I felt like.
But it's legal, so it's not a problem.
Right. Which is a huge misconception because obviously I was like, I'm going to go drink. I think I drank for a week before it brought me back to other substances. And then, I mean, the main part of my story, which I've spoken, I guess, on air about before, is the moment that really hit me was, I believe it was Mother's Day, and I wanted to see my daughter. And at this point, me going in and out of treatment, my mom had taken my daughter.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that she was safe, obviously with the best intentions. And, I wanted to see her on Mother's Day. And she said no. And I was like, what is going on? But it was basically just, she had said, you're going to do whatever you want to do, but if you're going to do it, you're not going to have her in your life. And it definitely hit me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah.
Because I think in that moment, I thought about when she got older that I didn't want her to look back or have to go through the experiences
How
that
old
I
was
went
she
through.
at this time? She was 8?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
And it was just my aha moment.
Yeah.
And so I went back to treatment and, maybe I didn't take treatment as seriously as I should have, but I started planning and I started saying, taking suggestions
Yeah.
because I wasn't before, and that obviously wasn't working out well for me.
Did you complete?
I did complete.
Oh, okay.
And what I think is the most beneficial,
Yeah.
thank you, the third time's a charm, was that I planned my aftercare.
Woo!
You know, I went to...
I like hearing that.
Right? I was like, you know what? I can't go back to the house that I was living at because it's the same thing. It's going to be the same thing.
Yep.
So I actually went to a sober living environment, which I actually stayed at for a year. So I think it's so true what they say is like
Yeah.
the longer that you can be
Yeah.
in that situation with the structure, with the, you know, being held accountable.
Yep.
You know, I was able to get back on my feet, save money, get a job, you know, start having a relationship with my daughter again, have that trust with my family come back. And then, you know, from there, I got a new apartment. I was getting everything together. I was
Yep.
able to get my license back. And then
Nice.
I applied to work at that sober living facility. And I got a job there and I worked
That's
there.
the best.
Yes,
Yeah,
because
there's
it was
so
like,
much gratitude because you know it works and you're not sales pitching anything. Like you're just speaking your truth from your heart. And
Absolutely.
you can connect with people and you can feel
Yep.
that. You know when someone's being genuine and pure from the heart.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it was so rewarding for me because of the fact that I was like wanting to give back to these women
Yep.
that I knew were in the same place at one point and that they could be at the same place
Yep.
that I was.
You see yourselves
you
in
know?
them.
Absolutely.
You know.
Bobby and I
And it
both
was-
got hired to work at the treatment centers that we got sober in.
Yep.
You know, and for me, it was so pivotal in my recovery because it was like it built so much self-esteem.
Yeah.
It was.
It's also the constant reminder of like, maybe I don't want to go back to that place again.
Yep.
But helping other people helps yourself. So
Mhm.
it was just definitely a great experience. And I actually worked at that facility for about 5 years. So it definitely like held a place in my heart. You know, it really helped me to get my life back on track. And after I worked there for about a year and a half, I got the job at Farnham as a resident instructor. And, you know, over the years that I've been there, almost 6.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've, you know, gotten promoted. I've, you know, and just over time have been able to, you know, help a lot of people, I hope, you know.
Yeah, I have run into a lot of women that have gratitude for you. You know, so you are making a difference in people's
That's
lives. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the point of it, right?
Yeah.
I don't do it. I don't see it as a job mostly. I mean, you go there and, you know, you have clients who just don't even know where to start, or people that have never, you know, accessed treatment before and they're nervous and they're scared, and just to be able to be like, I've been there, you know, is just something that helps people more than anybody that can just say, oh, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine.
So this, I'm sorry.
So do you find people, one of the first questions they ask are you one of us?
I don't,
Because I deal with that a lot.
I do feel like a lot of people ask that even over the phone.
Yeah.
Because when they're talking, and if maybe they don't think that you're understanding them,
Yep.
or they don't, you know, they want to, you know, come across as knowing like exactly what their situation and how dire it is. And they'll be like, you know, have you ever been, you know, addicted to anything? And I'd be like, yes. And then for some reason, it just like calms them right away.
Oh yeah, it
Because
lets them know that like, oh wait, and they're on the other side of the phone,
Right.
right? Like
Right.
they're not the ones living in the car right now,
Yeah.
but they know what it's like to live
Right.
in the
It's
car.
just that little bit of hope that,
Yep.
you know, they can find a new way of life.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So the show is about you and it's your show, but it's about helping people. And so Farnham is a treatment center that I've known of for many years now. And so many of our viewers might not know about Farnham. So what is Farnham Center? Where is it located? What do you guys do? What services do you offer?
So much.
I know.
So Farnham Center, we have, we're located in Manchester as well as Franklin. We have a full continuum of care. So we have all the way from medical detox to Suboxone Clinic, including residential, PHP, IOP. Our residentials are up in Franklin and Ray House. They're separate. You know, and our our modality, our philosophy is the 3 principles, which really separates us from any other treatment center. So we're not 12-step.
Yep.
The 3 principles is about mind, thought, and consciousness. So
I was going to ask, can you want to explain that a little bit? Because you know
This is great because a lot of our guests are 12 steps.
Yeah, you know the normal dialogue is like,
well,
12
and one thing
step,
that I tell people is because some people are on both ends of the spectrum, like, I really like AA or I really don't like AA. So I always explain it that it's not, we don't make someone pick and choose. We don't say AA is the way, 3 principles is the way. What is different is that we give the clients the opportunity to choose what's right for them. It's all about speaking to them about their innate well-being, that everything that they need to recover is inside of them. And we can just help them guide it and see it. And an easy way to kind of explain the 3 principles is just an awareness. Basically, we experience everything through our thinking. Absolutely everything. So our anxiety, our feelings, our, situations in the world is all created by our thinking. And that's why everybody's experience of something can be totally different. So people have separate realities of what's really going on. And so when our clients actually get that like kind of profound, like, I'm mad at you, not because of what you did, but because of how I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, what my perception of the situation is.
Absolutely.
And then based that one perception on the thousands of other similar things that's happened to me in the past that shaped it to something that you probably didn't mean at all, but because of my past and the way I'm seeing this is what it means.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a huge thing that we speak to our clients about is that your behaviors and your actions don't define who you are. So a lot of, what people have learned before doing, behavioral and cognitive therapy. It's kind of like change your behaviors and then your thinking will change. It's more like we want you to be aware of your thinking. And once you have kind of that profound awareness, you're able to...
Because you're powerless over your behaviors.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of times people will be like, well, like, why is this person behaving this way? And I'm like, because they don't know any other way. They are behaving exactly how they are supposed to. It is our job to love them and guide them and teach them and show them.
Well, we're kind of conditioned, to behave in certain ways or react. And
if you don't have the
really
awareness, you don't know how to behave another way.
Right.
You're literally doing the best you can.
It's hard to change those patterns.
You're doing what you know. That's all we do. We do what we know.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not that AA, because there's some things that maybe contradict, but they can work very well and intertwine together. So we still have AA meetings in the evenings that people can attend if they want to do that as well. But I always say it's just at least an additive, an extra tool that can help you in your recovery. So whatever works for you, whether it be meditation or anything religious, it's like we're open to everything. Yes. We want people to know because, we can't have someone walk through the door and be like, you need to do A, B, C, otherwise you're not going to stay sober, because they know themselves way better than we do. So telling someone what to do, it doesn't usually work that way,
No, not really.
Yeah.
Usually if somebody
didn't work for me, right?
I had to learn on my own.
Yeah.
I had to kind of hit my head on the wall. Yeah, a couple times. A couple hundred times.
Yeah, me too. And it's still a process, it's not like...
I was going to say for Bobby, I had to come back, but I held it.
See,
look at growing awareness.
I know.
She hits me.
I don't believe that.
She hits me.
I'm taking her side. Us women stick together.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bobby, you're a lot bigger than I am. You could easily defend yourself.
Okay, so back to, it's mind, thought, consciousness?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why you do that? All right, so the mind is how I perceive things, right?
Well, your mind is kind of that what's the word?
Placebo.
No. I want to say it's a body, but it's not a body. It's non-formless. because your mind is not like your brain
Right.
or your head. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Right.
consciousness, subconsciousness. Yep.
Okay.
Your consciousness is basically your level of awareness.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if you're, not that you're unconscious, maybe you were with all your accidents and
We call
stuff,
it woke.
But, yes,
Woke.
No, unconscious is the opposite of woke.
But
Or
it's all
it's not
consciousness. So like
Okay.
we can be distorted. Like
Yeah.
if we're angry or even when we're extremely happy, we can have distortion of thinking.
Okay.
So when your best thinking comes, or when you usually have like insights or aha moments, you know, when you're in the
Epiphanies?
shower, yes, or
Great
or times when you're able to kind of
See through
settle your
everything.
mind, you know, and
Okay.
it's not like all chaotic. You get the clear, conscious thinking
Okay.
of where you're able to, you know, have those new ideas.
Yep.
You know, and then thought is obviously, we think all day long. A lot of thoughts we may not pay attention to. We get to decide which ones we pay attention to.
Okay.
So some, you know, thoughts are where it gets tricky, because sometimes, you know, if we have a thought like I'm a bad person because of my addiction,
Yeah.
is that because we were conditioned to think that, and it's just a thought. Like no thoughts are good or bad.
Okay.
They're just equal. It's the attention that we put to the thought.
So this is
Okay.
great.
Yeah.
Because
Does that make
I am
sense?
very ignorant to 3 principles.
Me too.
I've heard about it for a very long time, but I have no experience with it. But this is kind of like the I am. Like I am not my
Yeah.
thoughts. I'm not. So this could tie into a lot of practices that I do, you know, and a lot of self-awareness practices that I do, and a lot of disciplines that I do daily to grow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's useful for anyone. And
Yeah.
we've
Yeah.
been lucky enough to have people who've written books and practitioners who actually do this for a living come and train the staff at Farnham, so that we actually, you know, are able to utilize it in our lives, and we're better able to guide the clients with
Practice
it.
what you preach.
Yeah, I was just about to
Exactly.
say, so if
We
somebody
can't just
wanted
say-
to, like, after they leave Farnham, if they wanted to continue with the 3 principles, or if anybody's watching and is like, hey, that sounds really cool, I want to try that, how would they go about that?
So we have 2 evenings, both at Manchester and Franklin locations,
Okay.
where anybody in the community can come. One of them is peer-led, so maybe
That's
like
cool.
alumni or anybody, and
Mhm.
it's basically discussions. It's not
Yeah.
really teaching. We just, you know, we'll talk about it, and then another one is where one of our clinicians will, you know, start out with a topic, and it's still a discussion, but anybody can come to those, and as well as there's millions of things on the internet. There's YouTube videos,
Okay.
you know, people that we have been lucky enough to have come meet with us, like
Yeah.
Barbara Patterson, Mara Gleason.
Okay.
They have tons of YouTube videos. There's literature
Yep. Okay.
all over the place.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I can get, like, lost in the rabbit hole?
No.
No?
I
Oh,
don't-
like lost in the rabbit hole?
I
Yeah,
don't know.
like-
I don't even
Find
know
it?
what he's referring
Like,
to.
I
lost
know.
on the rabbit hole? You don't
Yes,
know that?
there's so much
Yeah,
that you will
it's-
get lost.
Yeah, it's when you, like, just go into a subject really,
Yeah.
really, really
I mean,
deep.
if you Google it, I'm sure tons of stuff will come up.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Is it hard for you to get lost in the rabbit hole, or?
Do you see what she does to me? See how she treats me? You know I can read, right? You're just gonna make fun of me because I went to special reading classes growing up.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Maybe you're gonna talk about how I had a buzz cut and a big round head. Maybe how I couldn't say remember and I had a little bit of a lisp. Just throw it all
Hold on,
out
can
there.
you say it? I used to say it.
Remember.
Oh,
Okay.
He's getting
okay.
sensitive.
I know.
It's-
Bobby does have a heart. Oh.
All right. So 3 principles. We're talking about, you know, what life was like, how you got better. What does life look like for you now?
Well, like I said, I'm working at the Farnham Center, working in admissions. I'm the admissions coordinator, so I am definitely on board with, you know, getting everyone access to treatment.
Yep.
I'm married. I have, you know, a house with, you know, my daughter, a stepdaughter.
Nice.
We got 2 cats, a dog. You know, it's kind of the
American dream.
yes. I
White
don't have a
picket
white
fence.
picket fence. No.
Nobody wants a white
Because-
picket
No.
fence anymore.
Because at
But-
one point your mom had your daughter and like you were in treatment and lost your license, and so that's what this is about for anyone
Yeah.
who feels like they're not good enough, or
Absolutely.
they
You
can't
can
do
get it
this, or
all
they feel
back.
shame, like right, and far exceed anything that you ever thought that you could have, right?
Yeah.
You know, myself, I've only been sober for 2 years, and like any life goal that I'd ever set for myself, like those were really low because like I'm achieving up here now, and like who knows as I continue to
Right.
grow where
a lot
that
of
will
people
be.
say that. I mean, it'll be 8 years it was 8 years in July.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and, you know, I couldn't, when I was a year sober, I couldn't picture what my life was going to be like or what I wanted to do. You know, I always pictured myself in the medical field, and when stuff like this happens, and it just kind of seems like it's your, you know, a purpose. You know, you go
It's the right
and
path.
yeah, absolutely. You just you find your way, and great things happen if you allow them to. And like I said, it's always it's not as much as a constant battle to stay sober anymore, you know, but I still, you know, find things for my self-care. I'm like obsessed with yoga at the moment. I love it.
Yoga's trending.
It really is, but it's not just the physical, because that's what I started it for, but there's just so much more of being present and, you know, just...
Dude, yoga's hard.
It is very hard. I'm getting down on some good poses, though.
I'm one of those guys. I go to the gym, I do yoga, and like 2 poses in, I'm like, this is where I die.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
When I first
hopefully,
started
like they
practicing
drag
yoga,
me out
my
to
whole
the
body would
freeway.
be sore the next day.
Yep.
So we are almost out of time. The show flies by, doesn't it?
It does.
Yes.
It was great.
Yes, yeah, we got a couple more minutes left. So anyone that's looking for any resources, you will see our personal information up on the screen. So right there you have my personal email, and you can always reach out to myself, Bobby, Richie Farrell, Amy Cloutier, or Phil Spagnola on our Facebook page called I Am a Heroin Addict. So reach out to us there. This is Bobby's personal cell phone number and his email address for anyone that would like to contact Bobby. Stephanie's information will be up on the prompter very shortly here. So if you have any questions about Farnham, any questions about recovery, if you just are, you know, you're suffering, a loved one suffering, you don't want to get sober, you just like whatever you need, you can reach out to Stephanie.
Absolutely.
Reach out to her. She's a great resource. She has helped numerous amounts of women that I know in the community. On our Facebook page, I Am a Heroin Addict, we put a post up for her, and I was just blown away by all the feedback and how many women were like, I love her, she's so great. And it was all women too, by the way.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was all women. Like, she has done so much for me, and I was like, wow, it's gonna be an honor. I know. I was like, it's gonna be an honor to have her on the show.
That's great.
So in like 30 seconds, and right, that camera right there, 30 seconds, someone that's suffering, what do you have to say?
Yeah, definitely just reach out. I know it's the hardest step, but it's the first step, and there's always going to be there someone to support you and walk you through it. So please, because there's way too many people dying and sick and suffering, and not enough resources, but we can help.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Bobby, what do you got?
Just pick up the phone, call. You know,
Call Bobby 2 a.m.
Yeah.
It's literally my ringtone's an
Anytime.
alarm. It's messed up. But seriously, you don't have to be ready to be sober.
Right.
It's, you know, it could be just like you want the consequences to stop. Just give me a call. Give any of us a call.
Yeah, he means it. I call him at 2 a.m. sometimes just
Yeah.
to call him. He answers too,
I'll
so.
talk in my sleep. It's a problem. I don't know what I say on the phone.
It was a great show. We love you all. We're grateful for you watching. We're grateful for you sharing your time with us. And reach out if you need anything. Thank you.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.